when you're a Browns fan, you're always waiting.
You're on edge, right?
What's lurking around the corner, whether it's a Myles Garrett broken ankle playing basketball or just this idea that the Chiefs have all their guys there for the offseason workouts. The Browns, who face Kansas City in Kansas City to start the season, don't. Myles Garrett was asked yesterday about whether he's got any concern regarding that discrepancy. Here's what he had to say in response.
Not at all. I'm glad they have attendance, but just because they're getting work at their facility doesn't mean we're not working. Just because we're what our defense is getting work, our guys are working on their craft just away from home. We have that freedom and that liberty, and when we get to game one, we'll see who has been gelling better and who's got the upper hand.
Yeah, look, this is one of the major flies in the ointment as it relates to this push by the union to get guys to not show up, because there will be competitive disparities. And even as we see some teams reducing the intensity, reducing the number of practices, getting away from different drills, the Patriots are still the Patriots. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs. And
we don't hear anything from like we've talked about some of the other teams too. There's a lot of teams out there that kind of like quietly the attendance is really good, and we never heard one thing about it, and they're just chipping away at work.
And I wonder how much when September rolls around and we've got 16 games per week in most weeks to talk about, and the train keeps rolling and there'll be new storylines, will we
need to think about it.
Collectively,
right.
all of us, will others in the media go back and say, here are the teams that are doing well, here are the teams that are struggling, and these are the teams that had full-blown off-season programs, these are the teams that curtailed it, these are the teams that didn't have full attendance. Will there be a correlation? That's going to be an important exercise. So, Pete, you're the producer. Produce.
Keep track. Future
Pete, be aware and keep track, and let's see how that goes, because I think it's going to be an important point.
Definitely.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all fleshes out when it matters.
It's going to be important, just as a fan of the sport, like what we do, talking points, anything like that, all of that. But I mean, the teams themselves are going to be paying attention. They're going to be paying attention to the analytics here of like, boy, we spent this much time in the building and had this many practices, and what were the results? And they'll go, so on and so on with some of these teams that didn't practice or whatever. So not that there's a huge, huge, great advantage that the Chiefs are in the facility and doing that, but there is an advantage. There's no doubt. They're going to have some groundwork laid when they get into training camp to go, hey, remember when we were doing this at practice a few weeks ago and blah, 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 and we did this at the end of OTAs and the mini camps and all that? Hey, as I was in the lab here, I thought about let's add to this play that we did and did this play instead of that. And that's where you get a little bit of an advantage that way. And maybe some of the, you get to practice some of the new curveballs like we're talking about the coaches might have for a new attack. The Chiefs, we didn't have a short passing attack, and that's why we lost the Super Bowl. Maybe we should start working on it now. And I think that's where you get the advantages of the off-season stuff. It's not huge, but there's definitely an advantage.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.